لبنان دخل التاريخ، لكن للأسف الشديد ليس بفضل إنجاز سار، إنما عن طريق الانهيار. إذ بات أمس البلد الأول في الشرق الأوسط و62 في العالم على لائحة الدول التي شهدت تضخما مفرطا. مدير معهد الاقتصاد التطبيقي في جونز هوبكنز ستيف هانكي، المصنف رابع خبير اقتصادي ذي تأثير في العالم، هو من أعلن هذا الخبر على تويتر. ينضم إلينا الآن عبر سكايب. Professor Hanke, your tweet is very sad for Lebanon. What should we expect now? What does it mean?
The tweet is sad for me in particular. It's historic in the sense that Lebanon has officially entered the zone of hyperinflation. The inflation rate has exceeded 50% per month for 30 consecutive days. And I keep the official record for hyperinflations, world hyperinflations. It's in the Routledge Handbook of Major Economic Events, and there's something in there called the Hankey-Cruz World Hyperinflation Table. And now the 62nd episode of hyperinflation has just been registered officially by Lebanon as of yesterday. And it's amazing because there is no MENA country that's ever hyperinflated in world history. So you're the first one in MENA to ever hyperinflate.
That's too bad. What does it mean now?
I measure inflation very accurately, and I do that with high frequency data every single day, but I do not forecast inflation in high inflation countries, and the reason for that is that you can't do it. It's impossible.
But everything is collapsing around us. Do you expect a darker scenario?
In these currency crises, you know, it could go to 10,000 to the dollar, it could go to 15,000 to the dollar, it could go to 20,000 to the dollar. I mean, I've seen many crises that have spun out of control like that. It's impossible to predict.
I saw one of your tweets, actually, and you were shocked by the lack of action of the Lebanese government.
I anticipate that if the government doesn't do something, namely install a currency board arrangement, as I've recommended, that the pound will keep losing value. And if that happens, the inflation will continue raging away. But we'll see. I mean, they haven't indicated that they're even thinking about anything. I don't know what they're thinking about, honestly. They literally are fiddling while Beirut burns. The inflation rate yesterday was 462%, the annual inflation rate.
So the inflation of the 80s was nothing compared to now?
The crisis is much worse than it was even during the Civil War.
So if you have one word to say to the government regarding the IMF negotiations, what would you tell them?
The government of Lebanon should propose exactly what we did in Bulgaria in 1997. They should propose a currency board as the centerpiece for any reform plan. That has to be step one. You are in a currency crisis. You have to solve the currency crisis first. You have to get stability first. And if you do that, the IMF will agree, just like they did in Bulgaria. The minute Bulgaria said we want to do a currency board, the IMF said fine, and they supported it, and everything was fixed almost immediately.
Thank you, Professor. حالة النكران لا تؤدي إلى نتيجة. لبنان دخل دوامة الموت، فهل من خلاص له ولنا جميعاً؟